we Attorney General Ahonsem Abatuje and say minority fee said Dominic Ayine issued the public prosecuting strategy. The good previous government who public servant who any mercy because court to be anjeji asem in pakundi for announce with debate, but the Attorney General hold the press conference and all the Abatuje say nipa say a discuss it, nipa say a discuss it, and when the minority equal to Article 19(2)(c) said the Attorney General violated the Article 19(2)(c) I stated say anyone who commit an offense is innocent until proven guilty. Until the Attorney General violated the power the Constitution in the amano.
Adam kuma wamra se beje minority. Wamu friends am telefon se mu ema so amemra se bedwani a wono na ye emramu futufo de ma Adam kuma wamra se beje fie legal advisor of the minority caucus in parliament. Honorable John Dako ene gina wo manam kasa ye na wo masem nyina ne se aban miranim krache a wono kro ya so afo hwe atentene ne so. Minister of Justice our Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayine Papa Ghana Mamra Constitution no ne fa ye Article 19(2)(c) no o ja se na motu mai se dondon ebumra no kom se gen na sentine se wo mu kire mu se akoba se ebia Ghana ni bia ye ma ni dibre osusu se nipa ne de ne sa bo ma ne sikam se bum atambia kodi asenefu se twom nanka de anim ne se eba ne sa na se nipa no ye kye no a ye nyamfa ne nkwa asem de bia court nkobo no kwa adunti ye ntumi nka se odifo ana odibem tinka ne papa mu a weden ka Attorney General nanka odi nipa na kodina court na tembuafo abua ne bem anaso abu no fo nanso omo dem kuma no wo mu hu ne saa Dr. Dominic Ayine wo mu bo no kwa adu se odi dawrubo nyumakuo ana ada ne court ehona obi a aban ni susu se wedu omani sika no odi ne kogina abu nipa na tan abu anofo na wo mu dom kuma no hu ne se enye ade a wo mu je tum pene so a eyeyie esanse entwa yie asem yi na ye ne alo afo no doso nanso de wonum mmra kamra titru eba no amamra constitution nkyire mu a waben pa wom lawyer Samuel Fenbeti ya ne lawyer atwetwe nkomo lawyer Peace FM sini ewie yi ya mo hado asem wakọ aba
ne mo na bibia ba ko de
adum ni experience o eye wadaro ma na nso
ya me adum mo
we dey se ba mbra ni mu a o volume no ko fam kakra man
okay na me nya adjustment kakra
ke be pepa
hello
la aye
okay
nia Attorney General Minister of Justice Dr. Dominic Ayine oye ya ba mbra mu a etiamra ne kwanso ano no wa foma na won fom ye
well yeah me ka say bibia mu enkanka eba no emra ya say ade a esese wo ye ene kwan a esese wo fa so ye no yeah enye the same thing nti bibia esese wo ye no esanso wo kwan a esese wo fa so na wa ye nti de wo ye yi problem a eye don kuma eme omo ka ho se ebia media briefings no ana enyamra kwan so ana se kwan a offer so eye media briefings no ana mra kwan so na men hwa na men kira asia kakra dia me pa kira ne se there was difference between action and approach. Therefore, in this particular context of the media briefings Attorney General Ayine, a idea and Tiamra. deɛ na me say entiamra. First of all no. Ya nyinaa yɛ nim sɛ ade a yɛfrɛ no public corruption. Obiara nim ɛwɔ Ghana ha anaa wiase afa na nyinaa sɛ public corruption ɛnyɛ an ordinary criminal offense. Public corruption ɛwɔ different dimensions. Nti ne kura ɛwɔ mu ne sɛ ɔmo a moyɛ anti-corruption crusaders the world over no. It has now been established that there is no way you can use only strict legal methods to fight public corruption. In fact, Dominic Obe taking over as Attorney General. The first press briefing na oyeye. Oma Ghana for nyina etiase say one adopt a different strategy in using the law to fight public corruption. And to the Donkumano Ekano, a no say, ye suspected or be say, were committing criminal offense. The normal route in say, Yamfanum Kwajina court. Now, so that approach has been acknowledged as the worst form of trying to fight public corruption. Into one by one fancy in Ghana for, or say, one, he is going to depart from the traditional method of fighting corruption, which is that you take a strict legalistic approach. What is Obibekwa Kwajina court? Now, you say legal process and so on. You have assigned Ekodine court here. Obia nu kwan say obasan ayes asem no ho commentary. Nanso adeba ko a ewo mu ne say criminal standard of proof no. It is so high say most of the time no. You have the assem court because of failure to meet that standard no. The case can fail in court. But na no nkyere say nipa krono wanye bibia ense that it has not met the proof standard of proof in criminal cases. Therefore, mostly you see to fight corruption you use a three-pronged approach. Not just say approaches miansa and SSA yen kambum ne yen to tackle all the dimensions of public corruption. And that three-dimensional approach, that you must always set out to name, shame, and jail. And to say the Assem court here, the first two strategies of naming and shaming are not things that can be done in court. In fact, Assem court here, Obia nu can say Obeka Wasem. So you can no longer name and shame somebody once the matter has gone into court. But we also know that without naming and shaming, the strict traditional prosecutorial process alone is not sufficient to fight public corruption. And say, General Dominic Ayine, or say me, I am going to adopt the progressive approach, not the traditional approach. And that progressive approach means that as Attorney General, your role is not only to prosecute cases in court. It is also to account to the people because you are the people's lawyer. So me as a lawyer, me handle a case here. I owe it a duty to you to explain to you what I am doing.
Lawyer.
So as the lawyer of the people of Ghana, he has the duty to explain to us Ghanaians that this is what I am doing. And we believe, or he believes, as he explained to Ghanaians in his first press conference, that he is bringing transparency and accountability into the process of fighting public corruption. So he's going exactly by what he has set out to do. And therefore, insofar as it doesn't offend against any law too, because he is not convicting anybody. He is only explaining his modus operandi.
Before we come to Article 19 2C, minority there, and in a so a day, a bon quadri. Now, you have a interpretation. my Mr. Content of Kwedu no obo accused no our press briefings no say ebisa ya o go beyond boundaries emma details bi anka wo beyinya say asem na kokoto a ya case management ewie bie mu no so bia meka ne de no ene na nka ya ka bi wo ho but aya o kan as de court ebisa for details of code na wo bonipa no
yo say at the stage warrior media engagement no watch the alleged offenses ni pakrono aye yankai say the time warrior media engagement na wanyamfa case no court into the award kabiano are the possible offenses that the person will be charged with. That's why na okay. Asem court mpa answer na prosecutor bia e dey assemble court no. What na asem no na wa yi bia frusa o di bia be kan until say or you satisfied say this is what I'm going to take to court. Even say with the court inside the court no answer na trial no kra be start no. We still prune and dissect the case and remove some and reduce some and say you could do that the IFRN case management conference and a application for a directions no. And trim the whole process down to specific issues. And I say, you see, a fisherman goes to sea, you cast your net. So, and we pull it in now. Yeah, any the open now why you have to work on it. Yeah, open now with the copy. What you copy your answer no ben once no still you will clean it. And so that process no and say whatever he's saying is set in stone. What is it? And so that we knowing the cases and the charges and it is a process that continues from the investigation to the trial until the conviction or the declaration of innocence. And so that issue way say public briefings now, Attorney General no. Is it a violation of the due process and presumption of innocence principles, and now it is a strategy to bring accountability? And the answer is clear because ono can say a strategy to bring transparency and accountability to the criminal prosecution process. Not that he is sidestepping or he is bypassing the presumption of innocence principle or the due process principles in the Constitution. So, and up till now, court biamba out, every can say, that aspect of the fighting crime by shining light on accountability and transparency, that it is something that will prevent due process and other presumption of innocence from happening. Because found the yaka afa wo abonten ya do ko gina court ya dia obi aka afa asam no wo abonten a emfam ma court. And there is no way a court of competent jurisdiction should think that just because somebody has informed the client Ghana for say ejuma mi di na say me do wa me de be court. So as a matter of legal opinion and in my personal opinion, I believe that insofar as he has clarified to we as Ghanaians that I am no longer ready to fight public corruption through the usual narrow going to court, but I am going to open up the process so that we can fight crime by naming and shaming. And to say, we a public officer, now we him say, Okwaya dear Sumasi, and now Oko di a yibi, not say a babo din wa one thing now will pesa, and they're now what she. So, and see that kind of deterrent effect, and no see idea even here because Obia Livius ha open say it. So, but in conclusion, no me part say the air so public sphere no. Enya de aye di wura court. Aye de be kwa ko influence any judge. Say one day asem no say the assume super. Every prosecutor will go to court. You provide your evidence. You produce your evidence. If at the end of the day, the evidence does not hold up, you have not committed any offense against the Constitution of Ghana.
Lawyer, better say enchiremu say netie dia na Adom Kuma no kotu article 19 2C no a wo munim dia wo kan na wo makwa kotu sa article yi.
Oh yes, article 19 2C now mu kotu ye no. Eye ampa say eno na me say the article 19 C no ena ye no the principle of the presumption of innocence. Because the Constitution naturally say anybody who has been suspected or charged with a criminal offense should be presumed innocent until the person himself has admitted in court that they are guilty or that the prosecution has proved that the person has committed the offense. And not a presumption of innocence. The main part say until say the Nipanobeka in a court. Now, yeah, panu through the process of prosecution. You cannot say that anything anybody says is preempting or prejudicing the presumption of innocence. Because who could do court na SSA or presume as innocent. And the menu to a ebia. The meme anama to say where you be. Mema give me the make us say, oh, why? And as she knew how they are convinced me say, oh, but I don't know yet what in a quarter. And found say me man fan say mabu say why the why no no ebe kire e court ho ena ye be presume as innocent at the start of the prosecution. So anything that happens before prosecution does not affect the presumption of innocence.
No.
So the other process, the other me boss no due process. Naturally say from suspicion of having committed an offense to charging you and taking you before court and going through trial and going to conviction. That is the due process part. That's the part of due process. And if the Attorney General explains to that, I have done investigation and I've seen that this person has taken this amount of money, I believe say a chronodie. And when you say, investigation. And don't you say, charge. And don't you say, go through the full process of trial at court. So, and insofar as whatever he says now does not affect the laid down steps that you must be taking to prove your innocence or your conviction, I don't see how we can say that that is media persecution and our media prosecution.
Oh, that's what that no brain. Yani lawyer Samuel Fanbeti ana twetwe nkomofa Adom Kuma wam na se bje fie ko adua wode abo Attorney General.